Here we go with Ivan Wilcock interview, take 2. Following my talk on 10th of August with Ivan about the Redditch Borough Council's proposal to change the historic Ipsley Meadow to a cemetery, we're now having another chat today to deal with further objections and issues we did not cover then. Let's begin with the point raised at our last meeting, Ivan, when we emphasized that historic areas of green pasture, such as Ipsley Meadow, are very rare. I understand also that there are several historical facts that should make Ipsley and its meadow immune from present-day incursions.
That's right. The meadow abuts some undisturbed remains of the Roman Ricknell Street and part of the late Roman era hamlet of Ipsley, which is also mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086. The medieval church of St. Peter's, dating back to the 12th century, and the Ipsley Manor, both partly Jacobean and modern, dates back to the early 16th century. Both of these buildings overlook and have been closely associated with the meadow. There are traces of ridge and furrow across the entire meadow, and its history of ownership and use by the Houben family from AD 950 are all on record. That makes it a truly rare piece of ground.
As we now know, Ipsley Meadow has become a valued, diverse ecological habitat which hosts great crested newts and grass snakes, as well as being the kingpin to Matchborough's green space allocation.
Exactly, and that leads to another major objection in that Matchborough ward already has a deficit, the equivalent of 11 senior football pitches worth. This is a figure that comes from the council's own survey figures. If the Ipsley Meadow goes to cemetery use, that will increase the deficit to a full 15 senior football pitches. That's totally unacceptable. Planning is about improving urban areas, not making them worse. We should not forget also that in recent years, the importance of green spaces to our physical and mental well-being has been taking its rightful place in the awareness of our nation's hearts and minds, and the council should note this.
Clearly, Ipsley Meadow should be allowed to remain unspoilt for all in perpetuity.
Absolutely. Ipsley Meadow brings such benefits to all who use it, including not only the many residents of Matchborough, but also green space lovers throughout Redditch and Worcestershire County.
However, it seems that the campaign to halt all this has had some effect in the council, as the council is now committed to re-evaluating the 24 sites that have already been looked at. What do you think is the possible outcome of these investigations, Ivan?
They're right to go back and take another look. And I've been told that a report is to be presented to the council soon, and that they might select a few of the 24 sites for further intensive investigation, including a revisit to Abbey Cemetery and a look at my suggested expansion there. We should not overlook the fact that use of scheduled monument land for other purposes is not unusual, and it is possible to make proper application to the Secretary of State for Culture. For example, the famous scheduled Dudley Castle has a zoo on it. So why can't the Abbey Meadows have a cemetery use on a small part of it? Don't just accept local historians saying it can't be done. After all, truly exceptional circumstances are forcing the council to act, and it is truly exceptional circumstances that justify other use of scheduled monument land.
I now understand from our discussions, my discussions with Ivan, that planning is about the allocation of land in a balanced way to meet the needs of all who live and work in town and country. As professional planner and my guest today, Ivan Wilcock has confirmed that this application ignores the most basic planning rules, and what is now in process is clearly not proper planning.
As we have said before, it seems that Ipsley Meadow may not yet be a foregone conclusion at the town hall. So we must all keep our objections alive and out there in the hope that Redditch's no-nonsense common sense approach to life, which has been well in the forefront in the past, will prevail in the future.
And I wholeheartedly agree and endorse Ivan's indisputable evidence for no change at Ipsley Meadow. So I would urge all involved at Redditch Council with the change of use decision for the meadow next month, and all concerned Redditch residents who watch this second video will take a closer look at Ivan's suggestion for expanding the existing Abbey Cemetery. After all, it seems to me, and an increasing number of others, that this is the most common sense idea of them all.